Rahim. Inshallah, here's two more examples here. The first question on the left here says, we're given that AE is congruent to BE right here. So let's mark that it's AE is congruent to BE over here. And then we're given angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, which is over here. That's already marked in the diagram. And we're asked to prove the triangle AEC, that's this triangle AEC, is congruent to BED. That's that triangle over there. Now, the first thing that we have to be able to do, as you recall, is we have to kind of visualize these triangles, the ones that you're trying to prove to be congruent. And because there's a lot of lines going on over here, and so first thing you have to appreciate is which triangles are the ones that you're going to try to prove congruent. So there they are. So, and the given information here kind of appears desperate, means it's not related to the problem that's at hand. So we're going to prove, how are we going to prove these? And as I said before, we don't have a whole lot of armamentarium, so to speak, in trying to prove triangles congruent. These are not right triangles, so we're going to be left with side, 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 angle, side, angle, and then angle, angle, side, right? So those are the options that we have at our disposal in trying to prove these congruent. So, well, let's see. We have side. That's pretty much the only thing that's common that we have between these two triangles. So we have to get some more. Either we have to get sides or we have to get some angles, correct? So, well, if you recall, this is an interesting bit of information, don't you think? Like the angle 1 being congruent to angle 2, how can we use that? Well, we can use that because those two angles belong to this triangle right here. Okay, so those two angles belong to this middle triangle, so to speak, that's kind of over there, right? All right, so, and then we know a theorem, and that theorem was base angle theorem. The base angle theorem and its converse says that if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite to those sides are congruent, and the converse says if two angles of a triangle are congruent, then the sides opposite to them are congruent. So here we can use the converse of the base angle theorem and say these two sides are going to be congruent thanks to the base angle theorem. Okay, so we got that. So now we have this side is congruent to this side. Now what do we do? Okay, well, that gives us a side. Now, well, you can say, well, we need something else. We don't have this side over here available to us, right? So we can't do those. Maybe, wait a minute. I have an idea. You could say, well, since these two, angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, then these are going to be congruent, right? Because they're supplementary. So since this angle right here is supplementary to angle 1, and this angle is supplementary to angle 2, and angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, therefore those two angles are congruent. Okay, I give you that. So these two angles are congruent. Then we have angle, side. Okay, so it's not going to work, right? So that doesn't do it for us. So even though those are congruent, then we can't use them. So now we're kind of stuck. So now what we're going to do, I don't know. What do you think we're going to do? Well, we need something else. Maybe we need something else. Well, I'm assuming that you've thought about this. Look at this triangle, the big triangle, okay? In the big triangle, see, over here, we're given that these two sides are congruent. So if you just look at the big triangle, so we can use the base angle theorem over there and get those angles to be congruent, can't we? Right. So that's an isosceles triangle, and using those two sides and looking at the big triangle, we can get these angles to be congruent. Okay, now what? Now we're done, right? Because now we have angle, side, side. That can't be. Aha! But then you said we had proven that these are congruent right here, right? Because of before. So since those two angles supplementary to congruent angle with those angles are congruent, now we have angle, angle, side, and there you have it. Okay? So angle, angle, side, those two triangles are congruent. Correct? Okay. So that's just as a review. This is a beautiful question that kind of recapitulates for you the base angle theorem and its converse. And I thought this was a very beautiful question in that regards. Now let's look at our next question over here. This question says we are to prove triangle ABC. Triangle ABC. Let's try to draw these out so we can again see what we are up against. So we are to prove the triangle A, B, and C. That's that triangle is congruent to DCB. That's D over here. Oopsie daisy. So that's D over here, C and B. That's that triangle here. Okay, so we are to prove that those two triangles. Okay, maybe I could draw the second triangle with a different color, so you can see. So and in line. So here's this triangle and that triangle. So we're asked to prove that those two triangles are congruent, and we're given a bunch of information already, right? Okay, because we're given this angle is congruent, and then we're giving that angle is congruent. That should be kind of helpful to us, yeah? You would say? Yeah, I would say so. Okay, so that we have angle, and then we're given this side is congruent, right? Okay, so we're given angle, and we're given this side. So you think maybe, angle, side. Oh, I know this. We can do this side as reflexive property. Then we have angle, side. Okay, we can't do angle, side, side, right? That's how I'm. Okay, so we can't do that. Okay, so we need something else. Okay, well, coincidentally, and we're given that these two angles are congruent. What can we do with that? Well, now, okay, I'm getting smart here because I know these two angles are congruent. That'll give me those two sides to be congruent, okay? And that's from the base angle theorem converse, right? Okay, well, that doesn't do me a whole lot because it's kind of like, okay, it's like, okay, alright, well, that's not part of the big triangles, right? Okay, but look, I'm thinking, well, maybe, see, these two triangles are inside, right? These two triangles, maybe I could prove them congruent somehow, and maybe that will help me. Okay, let's prove it congruent, okay? Let's see, how are we going to prove those two triangles congruent? Angle, right here, angle, side, no, we can't do that. Angle, side, side, we can't prove them congruent. Are we stuck, right? Well, hopefully not stuck, right? Okay. Well, we have to prove those two angles congruent somehow. Okay, I'm thinking, how's that going to help? I don't know. I'm striving here. Okay. All right. Now look, I'm going to draw these two triangles out down over here separately. Okay, kind of semi-accurately. Okay. So that's over here. I'm going to draw this purple triangle so you can kind of see where we're going with this. Okay. They don't look accurate, right? But that's okay. So that's congruent. We got that congruent. We got this congruent, and we got this congruent, right? So, and then I can't use this, right? Because even though that's true, that's angle, side, side. That's not going to work, okay? So, okay, now, all right. So somehow I'm trying to get this congruent or something else. Okay, fine. But wait a minute. Hey, these angles are congruent over here. You say, oh, these angles are congruent. This angle is congruent to that angle. Well, how is that going to help me? Well, this angle right here is this angle over here. And this angle right here is over here. Aha! Now I have angle, side. Ta-da! See? This is another angle, side triangle. I have proven these two triangles to be congruent. So the idea here is that you have to kind of like look at different triangles that are in there, okay? Now I'm going to suggest to you there's another way you can do this proof, okay? Let's say if you did want to prove these two triangles congruent to get the baby triangles, you could do that, okay? By saying those are vertical angles, it's angle, side. That would work, angle, side. Once you prove those two triangles, you can prove, I don't know, you can prove this to be congruent to this because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, CPCTC. And once you've done that, you can say this angle right here is congruent to this angle, which corresponds to this angle over here and this angle. Then you can use angle, side, angle. angle, side, angle to prove those two triangles congruent. But here what we did is we used more simple version. We said, okay, you just have to separate those triangles out. Sometimes you see things better that way that you did not see before. So those were two great examples of angle, angle, side. And remember that sometimes there's more than one correct way of proving things in geometry. Until next time, as-salatu wa-salamu ala rasulillah walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum.